Okay, my friends, the word recession has been on a lot of people's minds for months now, and of course the possibility of one can bring up fear and uncertainty around job stability. So, here to help us recession-proof our jobs is Sara Vermunt. We're very happy to have you here. It's a big fear. Where do we start, Sara?
Well, first thing I want to say is, like, whenever there's a recession and if there is job loss, it's never like your fault if you lose your job, right? Like, there's so little that we can control if there is a recession. But one thing you can control in sort of like a proactive way is the relationship that you develop with your boss. So today I want to tell you about a really proactive conversation that you can have on the regular to really boost that relationship.
Okay, I want to talk about this then. Like, why is this helpful and what should we be saying?
Yeah, so in this conversation, basically what you want to do, it's a really simple conversation, and there's two goals. The first goal is to give your boss an update about what kind of work you're doing, what you're working on, your timelines, etc. Second goal is to ask if they have any feedback about your priorities. So this is supposed to be a pretty chill conversation.
Got it.
So you're just going to sort of say to your boss, hey, do you have a quick 10 minutes? I'd love to give you a few updates about what I'm working on. And then you tell them about your projects, your timelines, what you're troubleshooting. And then importantly, at the end, you're going to say, so that's what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give you an update, but I'm open to feedback about my priorities if you have any feedback.
And what does this do? What is this? Because I thought the conversation was going to be more like, don't fire me, don't fire me, don't fire me, don't fire me. But no.
It's kind of what you're doing, actually.
Oh, it is.
But in a really kind of like sneaky, strategic way. So here's what you're actually doing. When you ask your boss for feedback about your priorities and you're really open and proactive about it, it enlists your boss as a supporter of your work. So they sort of walk away from the conversation saying like, oh my God, I'm so glad Tracy came to me. She's totally on top of her stuff. Like, what a rock star. Don't have to worry about that one, because you've sort of demonstrated your commitment. You've shown initiative. They don't have to hunt you down to ask how things are going. And so if you imagine you're a manager and you have like 10 or 20 employees, and let's say hypothetically there is a recession in the future, and upper management comes to you and says, I need you to cut your team in half. You have to think about, okay, like maybe everyone on your team is a pretty good worker, but there are a few people on your team who have these kind of conversations regularly. They're so easy to manage. You know they're on top of your stuff. They're probably going to be the folks who stay.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then also, if they were thinking of cutting you, that's such a snaky move now. After you went in there and you were so open with them about, you know, asking for feedback, you could have just given me feedback. You didn't have to cut me. Like, I was asking what you want from me. So when is a good time to have this conversation?
Well, the important thing is you want to be proactive about this. So you want to do this like when the job market is good, like you want to start this tomorrow, whoever's watching. So like go in, have this conversation with your boss, because if you wait until, let's say, there is a recession or you hear about job cuts, then it comes off as kind of like panicky and reactive. The energy is going to be very different. And this is a conversation you should have probably every 3, 4, 6 months. So like start making it like a part of your regular process. And then if there is a recession sometime in the future, you don't have to worry about demonstrating your value. Really what this conversation on the regular is about demonstrating your value to leadership.
So it's not, you're not playing catch up. You are being proactive, which is great. Any other advice, Sara, you have outside of the job you have to make yourself feel better in these times?
So like, again, I said there's very little you can do if there is a recession, but one thing that's never bad to have is an updated resume, right? Now, people tend to panic about updating their resume, especially if you've had your job for a long time. So here's a great way to think about it. You just have one section to update, just your current job, because you probably have a great resume that you use to apply to your current job, right? So you just have to create one more section, try and come up with 4 or 5 bullets about your accomplishments, your experiences, so that if you need to use your resume, you have it. And the truth is, even if you are, there's no recession, you're not likely to stay in your current job forever. So it'll save you the headache of having to do your resume later when you choose to leave on your own terms.
Totally. Sara, thank you so much for that. Let's go to break. We got more coming.